you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jillian and today is going to be a second trimester catch up recap video. So this is baby number 3. At the time of filming this, I am 27.5 weeks pregnant, just a few days away from third trimester. So I thought it would be a good time to just sit down. I've got my notes and kind of run through all the things that I've experienced in the last 13-14 weeks. With my first 2 babies, I kind of kept like an Instagram journal of some of the highlights every month or so, and something that I really wished that I would have done was to document in a slightly more personal or conversational way instead of just bullet point highlights. So I did a first trimester recap with this baby, and I have already rewatched it, even though it really wasn't that long ago, because I do feel like I forget little things so quickly. I have made it a mission to document more of this pregnancy, and having this video format I personally really like. So I'm making this for myself to look back on, but also if you are in your second trimester or looking forward to your second trimester, maybe this will be encouraging to you. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Second trimester, I will say in general, I am a little breathy. As you can tell, I feel like I'm running out of air already. I should give a little bump date, shall I? Okay, here she is. I am in week 27. Baby is currently the size of a cabbage. And before I get into the specifics, I guess I will just say that overall, I have felt really good. And I feel really, really grateful and lucky to be able to say that. I know the second trimester for a lot of expecting moms can be that sweet spot where you're kind of over morning sickness and not quite to the super uncomfortable stage. And I can definitely say that that's been the same for me. Compared to my first 2 pregnancies, this one, first trimester and second so far, has been easier by quite a bit, which I am super, super thankful for, especially having the 2 older ones to take care of. Okay, so let's get into some specifics. Second trimester. Okay, the first thing I have is that at week 16, my energy started coming back pretty close to normal. Didn't feel any super extreme fatigue. I took a couple naps throughout that whole first trimester. And by week 16, I think I lost that feeling of I wish I would take a nap. I wish I could take a nap. My next note is that at 19 weeks, I started experiencing lightning crotch. I don't remember that, so I'm glad I wrote it down, but I haven't really felt that. I have had some round ligament pain here and there, but specifically lightning crotch, I have not felt in the last little bit, so thankful for that. Not counting it out for the rest of the pregnancy, that's for sure. So at 19 weeks, I wrote that walks are feeling really good. I use the Peloton app and I really love it. I used that pre-pregnancy and I was at the healthiest that I have been in my adult life. Just felt really strong, really good, and I really loved it. I found the few instructors that I am obsessed with. As I've gotten further along, I have noticed that workouts are getting different, and so I started walking more. I've walked a lot this trimester. It's also been a good dose of just me time. Mentally felt good to have kind of my own thing out of the house, and felt good because I could walk at my own pace without having to slow down for kids or worry about them being warm enough and all of the things. So just getting to go by myself, I really loved, and it really felt good, especially since my Peloton routine was kind of in flex mode. At 20 weeks, I started getting acid reflux. So far, so the last 7 weeks that I've been having it, it is not horrible and it's been fairly mild. However, I usually get it at some point every day. The biggest trigger is anything tomato related, specifically pasta sauce. Really just gets me. And then at 20 weeks and 4 days, Braxton Hicks after Peloton ride. I have had the most Braxton Hicks this pregnancy. I think I just pushed myself too hard in the moment. The ride felt really great, so I didn't think I was doing too much, and I always track my heart rate to make sure that things are in a safe level, but I think I just overdid it a little bit, and afterwards had pretty consistent, long-lasting Braxton Hicks. Around 24 weeks, I wrote that sleeping has gotten harder, and that is definitely still true. I am already not the soundest sleeper. This time around at 24 weeks, I feel like I could call it insomnia. Most nights I wake up somewhere between 2:30 and 4:30, and it's just really hard for me to go back to sleep. I just get kind of restless. I toss and turn a lot. Even if I don't feel like super uncomfortable or anything, just sleeping is hard. I don't know if this is true, but I did read something that time in the middle of the night is when a certain hormone is at its peak. So I guess a lot of moms experience it like somewhere in that window of time. So let me know if you are or have been pregnant. Is that the same kind of time frame, like that really early morning? Is that when you also woke up, or did you not deal with it? Because I thought it was really interesting that it could be a hormonal thing. And then also around the 24-week mark, I definitely had to roll over to the side to then sit up, and rolling onto my left side always gets me. Like that is what will give me round ligament pain almost every single time. So I try not to even go that way. Trying to fall asleep or get to sleep, I will have some pelvic pain. Nothing extreme, nothing that makes me think I need to get it like checked out beyond asking my doctor at my regular appointments. But I have started to just like feel some things kind of shifting, and laying down you'd think would be really comfy being pregnant. And for whatever reason this time, I just have a really hard time getting comfortable with my hips and pelvis and all of that. Rest of my notes kind of start at 26 weeks and go to current time. Last week, I only worked out once, which is the least amount of workouts that I've done in a week since getting pregnant, or since before getting pregnant even. And I just noticed that it felt really, really hard. There is a prenatal, it's a 20-minute prenatal full body by Robin, if you have the Peloton app. And I take that once a week because it checks all the boxes. It does feel really good. By like the second set, I was like, this is very hard, not very fun. So I picked up lighter weights for the next round, and I just got really breathy. My heart rate got much higher than it usually does. Kind of switching gears, second trimester, like cravings, aversions, food related things. I can't really say that I've had major cravings. Like I haven't had any of the type where I like make my husband go out and go get me something because I can't stop thinking about it. However, I love sour candy. I have the What to Expect app, and so in that community forum section, a couple moms say that sour candy helped their nausea, and nausea isn't something that I struggled with. But when I read that, I was like, oh, you know, that kind of sounds good. And so I got some Sour Patch Kids, and they just really hit the spot. Since then, I've been having a couple sour candy treats per week, so I've been loving that. I haven't had any true aversions. I will say I've been slightly less motivated in general to cook. I've been very drawn to convenience, and vegetables, I have to really work hard to get myself to want to eat them. And it's not that I think they taste bad. They don't gross me out right now or anything. I just like don't really want them. So I've been doing like carrots and dip are really good. Like raw cold veggies I can do, but I have attempted leafy greens, which I usually really like in salad form, spinach, in smoothies, whatever. Pre-pregnancy, I had no problem and like enjoyed them. And since being pregnant, especially this trimester, I just have zero desire to entertain the idea of lettuce, spinach, any of that. In my first trimester recap, I mentioned that I had a subchorionic hemorrhage. Our anatomy scan, they confirmed that the hemorrhage was gone. It did feel like a load off to know that that was taken care of and was not an issue or something that I needed to think about. Exciting news. My husband changed jobs, which led us to an insurance change as well. I was able to switch back to my favorite OB that I was really looking forward to having, and just had my first appointment back with him. So I'm so excited. I do feel this like refreshed energy about it. There's just something about having a doctor that you really love, that you feel like gets you, that you feel totally comfortable with. And I am like over the moon to be able to be with that provider this time. The last thing I have in my notes here is clothing. I am at the point now where I'm down to my last pair of pre-pregnancy jeans that fit. This is the furthest in pregnancy I've ever been where that has still been the case. I was out of my pre-pregnancy jeans much earlier for my first two kids, but Carly Jean Los Angeles, I feel like I just have to brag on them because I feel like this is unheard of, at least for me. I have, what are they called? I think they're called the Chrissy jeans by Carly Jean Los Angeles. I love them. They're like a very stretchy denim. I can still wear those, and I can kind of feel I probably have like a couple weeks left, but I'm soaking it in because it feels so good to not have to wear maternity jeans. I just don't think they're that comfy. So the reason I brought up clothing is because we're kind of trying to avoid, I am trying to avoid purchasing any new maternity clothes this time around, just because I think we want more. However, we've never had 3 kids before. So we've always kind of said like 3 and we'll see when it comes to the number of kids. So just in case this ends up being my last pregnancy and our last baby, I don't want to spend a bunch of money just to get through the last 12 weeks or whatever. So having said that, if you have any favorite like transitional pieces that aren't maternity, but maybe like things with elastic waistband or that aren't actually maternity clothes, but they work through the end of pregnancy and transitioning into postpartum, let me know because I am on the hunt. I know that I will need probably some new pieces once baby's here, but again, I just don't want to do the maternity thing if I can avoid it. So I feel like that was a quick update, but those are all my notes. Overall, it's just been a really good trimester and I am excited for trimester number 3. I assume things will get a little more uncomfortable. I'm sure I'll come to a point where I'm ready for this baby to come. I do have more pregnancy related content coming. So if you are interested in that, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one.